Yeah, what up? Oh, is it recording? Yeah, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zai. You already know what time it is. I'm back to give you that most controversial topics. Now, understand this, man. When it comes to what's going on right now, it's a lot of people that really are refusing to pay attention to exactly what these dudes are trying to pull over your eyes. Now, there's a lot of people in here that they got mad. I understand you're a Democrat, whatever. You feel some type of way about whatever, but this is a Democratic run state, and everything is going to absolute now. But we have to be politically correct, so we can't really say too much things on how we feel because we're shunned for that. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. If you're not on board, you're not on board. And then they do things to, like, I said, they not get you out the way, but you start noticing you get strikes on your channel, or they start basically doing a full court press to push you up off the scene because you're saying things that they don't necessarily agree with. Now understand, I don't agree with the fact that these dudes are making these bullshit ass laws, and the fact that they're utilizing. Have you noticed that all these shootings have been coming around the time that this dude stepped into office? All these shootings, like before, like you little things, but now it's like all these shootings now, and it comes upon a time when this dude is trying to push for the cops to be able to just literally walk up in a gangster's door, or who they consider to be a gangster, and go look for guns, like without a warrant. It's violating our basic liberties. You know what I mean? It's like, look, dude, you have no warrant, you have no right to come in my house, but they're pushing to do this because at the end of the day, it's an agenda behind it. These dudes have always pushed for not only gun control, but for people to take the guns out of people's hands. Why? Because that's how they control. This is not conspiracy. This is just fact. Like you got these dudes are, and even some of the cats you hang around are saboteurs. They utilize these guys in order to disrupt shit. I told you with the gentrification back in the days when you notice these dudes will pop up in your hood, you jump these dudes in, they just come out of nowhere. Then these dudes constantly right in your neighborhood, destroying shit, and then constantly bringing the value of houses down, so people can get it move in at a cheap price and basically take over absolutely everything you own. It's one of those things that people fail to see because all they thought about was immediate gratification, which is, okay, my neighborhood is getting deeper, my hood is getting deeper, my turf, whatever is getting deeper. But there was a real consequence behind it. There's a lot of people now that grew up in certain places and claimed them as their hood. And even if you weren't out there doing any bad shit, just the simple fact you were claiming that hood because it's something you grew up in, you no longer can go back there because it then got turned into a gated community, or it's one of those spots where you just don't belong there. Visually, you don't look like you belong there, and physically, you should not be there, or you go into jail. Soliciting, excuse me, in a spot that you grew up your whole life, but you no longer belong there because you don't have the money to be able to live there. It's been happening all through North Hollywood, and it happened in LA. It's happening in a lot of spots. Like, you got to have real money in order to be able to stay on these properties. But like I'm saying, like, people have followed like puppets for years, and then they end up aligning themselves with certain parties because that's the politically correct thing to do. Like, I had a chick hand me a card because she automatically thought I was one of those, and all I could do is respectfully decline because I was like, nah, that's not me. Which she was in turn surprised at the fact. She's like, but you're black, so because I'm black, I should be a den. Like, it's things like that, you know what I mean? Or you're a gangster, you should be going with us because we keep you out of jail or whatever. Now, I kept myself out of jail. I chose not to partake in certain things and continuously go back. It's just one of those things that you get older and you either learn or you don't. And if you don't, go back to the cage. You know what I mean? They got a spot for you, which in California, they got a whole lot of cages for you. But it's kind of run stage. But anyways, man, that's besides the point, man. All I'm saying is these cats are using people to do their dirty work. They have got so smart and so gifted at maneuvering pawns, which we're basically pawns. Like, the whole COVID thing, people were up in arms against it. Hey, give them a stimulus check. Bam. Okay, shut up. Tell me no. That's how it was. Like, I know you want me to get on here and talk about certain things, which I will, you know what I mean? But right now, I'm just talking to the people that really pay attention to what's going on. Like, understand, this people are moving out of California in droves, and the weirdos are coming in. So it's like, out with the and in with the, you know what I mean? It's like this whole, I don't know. It's like people are moving out like an exodus or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're following the signs. You know what I mean? And it's not even that. It's just they don't want to deal with the state because it's garbage. The price of housing is going up. People are getting evicted, homeless all throughout Los Angeles. You got spots like the homie said in his post. Like you got all these spots open, buildings, and you know what I mean? You got people out of state building like little houses for people, but yet you got all these empty apartments in Los Angeles. But you can't tell you. Are you telling me that the government can't pay to put these people up in there instead of having on the street? You can't even walk down the street. It's tents everywhere. You know what I mean? Every time I was supposed to throw my event in downtown Los Angeles, but it's nowhere to go because it's like there's bums taking poops on the freaking sidewalk, like with blatant disregard for who you are and why what you doing there. You got dudes needles like right that you can't even do nothing. I'll be scared to walk down there sometimes because I think I'm back in prison and hepatitis gonna be running rampant around there. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's one of those type of things. But like I say all this just to say, you know, you need to really pay attention to what they're doing right now. Like these shootings that are just suddenly coming out of nowhere. It's funny. It either happens around election time or it happens around a time where there's a certain law that they're trying to get passed. I said it before in a video, I think the day before this, which they're basically utilizing that as a, I won't say a flagship, but they're using that in order to press forward what the agenda that they're trying to do. Right now it's supposed to be bipartisanship, but it's not. These dudes are not trying to share the power. It's just we're in power now, and everything that you did to us, we're gonna, you know, do it 20 times over. People are supposed to have guns in order to be able to protect yourself from big governments. You know what I mean? And to defend themselves if somebody happened that's foreign steps on this soil, and they have to, you know, step up and be that other army, that other marine, other, you know what I'm saying? It's a reason behind everything. It's a reason that people were supposed to be able to bear arms. You know, back in the days, you know how they when you become a felon and now all these states have taken away your right to bear arms, but yet back in the days when people would get out of prison in the cowboy days, they were still able to carry guns because they would release them with money. We still get gate money. They would release them with money. They would give them I think a revolver and a pistol. I mean a revolver and a rifle because they would be back out there in the wilderness, defending themselves, continuing on how to stay alive. And it's the same out here. It's like a lot of us that got incarcerated for certain things, regardless of what it was, we still got to be out here fending for our family and fending for ourselves. So it's one of those things like, you know, it wouldn't be so many victims if we're able to bear arms. And I'm not saying give us guns, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that, you know, I'm just using it as a point, you know what I mean? That people were given guns for a certain reason, which were protection, to hunt, whatever, to take care of their family. But these dudes are trying to take it away. They're trying to take everything away. They're trying to make it legal just to literally walk in your house without, you know how many cops are waiting for that? Waiting for that, oh, I don't need a warrant. I can guarantee the first houses they run into, we found everything. This dude got dope, he got heroin, you might be a blue collar dude, or you might, you know what I'm saying, you might be one of those that, you know, you stack guns because, you know, you're one of those that like to be fully prepared for whatever comes from any threat, from any situation. But they want that, you know what I mean? They want to be able to control. As long as you got guns, and if they were to do something foul, like just shut everything down, you have nothing to fight them with because all your guns are gone. And I'm not getting on here talking about, you know, that I've talked about that before as far as gun rights and the right to bear arms. I'm just getting on here and like all these stupid fools that just sitting back watching all this shit and think, oh yeah, you know, this everything happens for a reason. These shootings are happening for a reason. And just keep watching. Get your mind out the IRS thing, looking for your stimulus check. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Sometimes you just got to work for what you want. But get your mind off the stimulus check and just really get out there and put that ear to the pavement and watch what's going on. And people are getting killed left and right. All these shootings, and I'm telling you, man, that it's a plan for shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, for the ones that be, you know, you want to be politically correct. Yeah, take all the guns away. Yeah, run up in their house. You gonna be the same one that they run up in your shit. You know what I mean? that little arsenal of guns that you thought you were stockpiling for a rainy day. They coming in there to take those as well. Not just the gangsters and the gangmen. They come take yours too. Let them pass that. Let them say that. Oh, it's just for gangbangers and suspected gangbangers with guns. No, that's just giving them the right to run in anybody's house. So you see that happened in Oregon at one time where all them people got killed because they tried the same thing. They were literally they had the other one wasn't even televised. I think in Oregon where they were going looking for these guns, and they did a whole lot of stuff. People were literally filming and walking down the street using the military in order to enforce it. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like one of those. You have no weapons to defend yourself. If they take everything from you, what you gonna do? If a dude walks in your house with an AR-15, or maybe 5 or 6 people, get down. What are you gonna do? You have no weapons to defend yourself. If a foreign invasion happened, you had to depend on them. What if they fall? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's one of those things. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, every time there's a law or something or an election, there's always some to justify the means of doing something crooked. I wouldn't trust nobody, but at the end of the day, you had a lesser of two evils. Now, depending on what you believe, you can decide which way you want to go. But this is not even to talk about politics. It's just a lot of people are going to die, and people are going to continue to die because at the end of the day, they need it in order to pass certain laws to get, to the bleeding hearts to pay attention. BLM ain't nowhere to be found, man. And that's not just on them, but it's just like that Soros and all, man, that shit got hijacked a long time ago. You stop believing in false prophets and start looking for yourself. Seek. Don't be one to just believe everything. You just seek. Something you believe might not be right. Go search it up. There's a lot of different outlets that give you righteous information. And at the end of the day, you got to come to your own conclusions. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm just going to close this because I really want to go in on everybody. But I'm just going to close it here because it's one of those things. You either get it or you don't. You either get it or you don't. I'm your boy Zod, and I'm going to give it to you how I feel. And I got a few music videos finna drop soon. So, man, just be paying attention. Negative, positive, whatever. It don't matter in these days. It's just survival. You either survive or you die. But don't cry about it. The signs are all there. And I'm out.